We are back. Spears and Ali Overtime here on Apple, Spotify, and now YouTube. We are presented by Tucson Federal Credit Union, the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans, and also Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
It is the right way.
It is,
if you got heating, cooling, or plumbing issues, I personally would want to go the right way, not the wrong way. And they're great at what they do. And the Volpness of the Volpe team, the most voluptuous Volpness.
Mighty Volpness.
Hey, man, when I want to get I want to get some financing for a home purchase, you add in some Volpness to that, win. And man, Tucson Federal Credit Union, they're the union between you and your bank, you and your money. Is there another more important union to have? Tucson Federal Credit Union, Justin, not just a bank, better than a bank, better than your bank. And with that, you just did an impression before that we started of a skit on Saturday Night Live with Will Ferrell playing, what's his name?
Alex Trebek.
Alex Trebek. And the character that you were emulating from that skit is who?
Sean Connery.
And you said what?
What? What my impression was?
Yeah.
We're coming to you from Apple, Spotify, and your mother's house.
Andrew.
Yes.
And then I asked, do you know who Sean Connery is?
He's an actor.
And do you know what he's ever been in?
And
you said?
I was thinking of Sean Connor, right? Or John Connor. Who's
John Connor.
John Connor is
the character
in the Terminator.
Yeah.
Is he in the Untouchables?
Jesus.
Sean Connery? He's not in the Untouchables?
No.
Indiana Jones?
Yes, he was Indiana's father in The Last Crusade.
That's right, isn't he?
Okay.
Huh? Yeah.
My favorite of the Indiana Joneses, by the way.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's all you got.
Medicine Man?
Have you seen all the Indiana Jones movies?
I've not. I need to. I know.
I don't understand, man. I don't get it.
Can I do what I've always wanted to do, but it's radio and it doesn't have the same impact, but now that people can see.
Unless you listen to the podcast.
Jesus, man.
I know.
Sean Connery was the original James Bond.
Oh, man.
That's his most
right.
famous role. He was also in the Untouchables with not the Untouchables.
Okay.
You said Expendables.
No, I said the Untouchables.
Yeah, he was in the Untouchables.
So I was
Kevin
right.
Costner. He said Expendables, right?
I think he said Untouchables.
You did? Okay, you were right about that one. He was the old Irish cop who was on the beat, wouldn't take a payoff. And he was also in the Highlander movie. There can be only one. He was good in that.
There can be only one. What's the movie where he plays a Spaniard? And then they get a Spaniard to play
he's a Spaniard in that movie.
That's the one.
Highlander, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and he's teaching was it McLeod how to be a Highlander, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Telling him all the rules. And then the bad guy kills him. But
spoilers.
McLeod was, if you haven't watched Highlander, well, the movie's been out for like 20 years, so that's your fault. But yeah, McLeod, there could be only one. I love that TV show, Highlander, and the movies were great. That was like one of my favorite shows. Here we are, born to be kings. We're the masters of the universe. Yeah! And great episodes. Yeah.
So, okay, before we talk Super Bowl, get our predictions for this weekend. I'm curious, though. We're on the conversation of TV shows.
Yeah.
If you were to pick your Mount Rushmore of TV shows that perfectly...
How many? Four.
Four.
Man, that's a tough question.
I was like, why 4? And then I thought, yeah, there's 4 heads on that mountain.
Yeah.
Continue. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, like I grew up in the TV era, man. And, I watched MASH with my mom. So that's always going to have a place in my heart. I loved Quantum Leap. That reminds me a lot of college. Always watching Quantum Leap in the afternoon.
Was that because you would fall asleep at some point and then wake up somewhere else at a different time?
In a different body, in a different person, but I had to fix it for them.
Yeah.
A lot, actually very prepared me for this show. And then I would say, by the way, I was going to say The Wire, but did you know that the Hawaii Supreme Court quoted The Wire in one of their decisions recently.
I did
Yeah.
see that. Yeah.
Yeah. You know why they call them the old days? Because they're old, man.
Because they're the old days.
Because they're the old days. Anyway, I thought that was awesome. Yeah, Sopranos. I mean, there's so many good shows. I don't know. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, love that show. And right now, I'm getting down on I think it's the 3rd season, maybe 4th season of True Detective on HBO. It's like a mini series from HBO. The first one was Matthew McConaughey and what's his name from Cheers.
Norm?
No. Woody.
Woody Harrelson?
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
Norm. Yeah, Norm.
What do you say to a beer, Norm?
I'm watching Jodie Foster is the main star, but I'm watching that and catching up on my Curb Your Enthusiasm because season 11, the last season, is just about to air or just aired the first episode. So, yeah. And then, of course, number 1, Pittsburgh Steelers football.
That's your favorite TV show?
Is that a TV show?
Every Sunday
Does
in the
that
fall.
count?
It's the only real reality show out there is sports. Everything else is fake. By the way, we can't talk about it, but there's a show coming out in March, Justin, that everybody watches that me and you are going to make a cameo in.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bar Rescue.
Justin Spears and Ollie Farhang will be in Bar Rescue in an episode in March. And you know us, we don't downplay anything. We will definitely promote it. It was actually wild, man. We can't talk about it. We're under like certain guidelines right now until the show airs. It was wild.
Say you're in it though, right?
We can say we're in it, and it's gonna be. We did it on Halloween, so it was crazy. Don't you remember? It was crazy. Anyway, Justin, what I want to really talk about to get started is Arizona basketball, and I've got 2 kind of questions. I think that number 1, we're comfortably 3/4 through the regular season.
Yeah.
Not much left. So, I guess my question for you is number 1, what have you seen from this Arizona team that either gives you confidence or lack of confidence that they can make a national championship run? And then number 2, and maybe I'll get in this because I've watched a lot of college basketball this year, as I always do. Of the teams currently in the top 10, who do I want to see in Arizona's bracket and who do I not want to see? So I give you the floor to talk about what gives you confidence, what gives you a lack of confidence that this Arizona team can be not only in Phoenix in the Final Four, but actually play for a national championship.
Yeah. Well, in terms of things that Arizona can hang its hat on, even if they play ugly games like we saw against Utah. I mean, Utah undefeated at home going into this week. And then Arizona didn't have its best performance in the second half, but yet they still found a way to win. Now, they had a really good first half. So they had some cushion to, play sloppy in the second half. But, going into overtime,
that's just what your girlfriend says, by the way.
What?
I always appreciate a little cushion.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. But the overtime periods that Arizona played, maybe just figuring out ways to win games. That is the hallmark of great teams and teams that can go far in March. And also, I think Arizona, they have their bona fide go-to clutch guy in Caleb Love, the transfer from North Carolina. He spent there the previous 3-4 seasons playing for the Tar Heels. Went to a national championship game, so he has great NCAA tournament experience. And then he comes over to a situation in Arizona to where he is in the starting lineup, but we don't really know if he's going to be the guy, right, in crunch time. And every single time this season, when the going gets tough late in games, Caleb Love figures out a way to just make winning plays. And even, against Utah, even though he wasn't scoring well, I mean, 5 for 20 from the field, that's not efficient at all. But you also look at his rebounds, you look at his assists, and the key turnover or the key statistic is how many turnovers do you have? Okay, yes, you're missing a bunch of shots, but do you also have 6-7 turnovers? He only had 1 turnover in a triple overtime game. So for him to step up late in the game against Utah, even though he had a pretty shitty shooting performance, I think that bodes well for Arizona in the tournament.
Never hung his head and helped
Never.
the team in other ways. That's a sign of maturity and a sign of a guy that's team oriented, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So this Arizona team, and also, I mean, in comparison to last year's team, they have depth, like really good guys coming off the bench. Pelle Larsson was great coming off the bench last year, but then the other guy was a 17-year-old Kylan Boswell. Now Boswell's in the starting lineup. Who do you have coming off the bench? Pelle Larsson also in the starting lineup. So who are these guys? Well, you look at Mo Kribis, is he 7'2"?
Yeah.
7'2" big man who is very mobile.
Highly skilled.
Can move very well, can get to the basket. I'm excited for the trajectory that Mo Kribis is on right now. And then you also look at KJ Lewis, who's an absolute dog coming off the bench.
He's only 18.
Only 18 years old. Really plays like a Marcus Smart type of player. So gritty and tough on the defensive end. And also Jaden Bradley. I mean, you're having a McDonald's All-American coming off your bench, and he made some pretty big-time free throws late in that game against Utah. So the Wildcats, they have all the pieces. They just need to get out of their own head and figure out a way to generate their own energy, because when they're playing, even on the road, when they're playing in tough environments, and there's a lot of fans there, Arizona plays well. It's when they get into these Washington State, Stanford type of environments where it's just so sleepy.
Yeah.
And it seems like Arizona's just like trying to wake up and figure things out. You're not going to experience that in the NCAA tournament, but you're also going to be in situations where things aren't going to go your way. And if you can prevail like you did against Utah, then you're going to be going far in March. I think Arizona can go far in March, but the way college basketball is this season, Arizona could very well get bounced in the first round once again. So,
not this team. Not this team.
I mean, it's college basketball, man. It's weird.
It is weird, but I just don't see it. It's just it's a grittier, tougher team. Everything. I agree with pretty much everything you said. I mean, I think maybe the worst thing that happened to Arizona last night against Utah was they won a 41-25 at halftime. They have a relax mode that is not good for them. And when they're fluid on offense, when the ball's moving, you see guys cutting and they're sharing the ball. They're very tough to defend. But when you see them kind of be stagnant like they were in end game situations a few times last night, especially in the overtimes, they had the last shot and they stood there. They waited too long into the game. I don't understand. We don't start the offense going until too late in the clock.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we started till like 9 seconds were left last night. You don't have to shoot at the end, but start moving the ball and, start creating leverage against your defender. If you just wait till 9 seconds and you're going to start your offense, then you're not going to usually get a very good shot. So I'm absolutely certain Tommy Lloyd's working on that with the team. And I think that they can certainly use the work defensively. Man, when they're aggressive and in your face and they're applying pressure and dictating the pace, that translates to the offense, to fast breaks. We're really good at fast breaks. They ran a fast break last night that was quintessential, a perfect fast break in the first half. So to me, man, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. And I think this team can go far. I'm actually more worried about, I told you there's no way. We're not getting bounced in the first round. 100% guarantee it. Stamp this, mark this. We're not. But I'm worried about that second round game.
Yeah.
Because, maybe we play a school that doesn't have a brand name, right? And maybe we're in Salt Lake, Utah. And there'll be a lot of Arizona fans there. There always are. But, it's not the best, Yeah.
Lost you.
Yeah, I know. Well, my Jedi powers. I moved the camera. But I think that relax factor is what I'm most worried about, because once we get in the Sweet 16 and once the atmosphere and the intensity and the stakes go higher and higher and higher, I think this team is going to actually be better and better and better. And that kind of goes into, I just want to go through the current top 10, right?
Let's do it.
I'm going to tell you teams that I wouldn't mind seeing in the Elite Eight to go to the Final Four, and teams that, I'd rather play them in the championship game.
Okay.
The number one team in the country right now is Connecticut. Connecticut plays a rugged defense in your face. And Connecticut is a team that I want to play in the finals. I don't, playing them in the, Elite Eight to go to the Final Four, kind of tough. Number 2 is Purdue. We've watched Arizona play Purdue. Arizona played them in Indianapolis. It was a complete road game. I mean, it was all Purdue fans. And we played them tough. Purdue's guards shot out of their minds. Hey, where have we heard that before against Arizona this year?
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's not just a coincidence. There's something about the 3-point defense. It'll be interesting Saturday against Colorado. Colorado does not take a lot of 3-pointers. And they don't shoot a very high percentage of 3-pointers. So if Colorado goes out there and shoots like 10 for 14 from 3, man,
it's the basketball gods.
It was just snake bitten. But Purdue is another team. I'd rather play them in the finals. But if we're playing them in the Elite Eight, I wouldn't mind. Please, 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 gods of basketball, put UNC in our bracket all day, every day.
Yeah.
We put Arizona plays UNC in the tournament. Arizona wins by 15 or more.
And Caleb Love will play out of his mind.
Yeah. Play out of his mind. KU, I put them in the Connecticut level. They're not, I don't think, as good as a lot of KU teams, but they're really good. And I think we can beat them. I think we're more talented, more athletic than them. But KU's good. Bill Self's a great coach. They play very disciplined.
But they have a losing record away from Allen Fieldhouse, or Fog Allen Fieldhouse.
Well, yeah, winning on the road is hard. I mean, we see it every week in college basketball. And in a neutral site, I think Arizona prevails over KU. Good game. Wouldn't mind playing them in the finals. Keep Houston the fuck away from us.
The team that beat Arizona in the tournament a couple years ago
in San Antonio, dude, those guys. I mean, I think there's guys that are like 11th year in college playing on that team. I could have sworn I saw 4 of them kiss their 3 kids after the game.
Yeah.
Shed is still on that team. Houston has the ability to make a very beautiful, fluid offense and the beautiful game of basketball very ugly. And Kelvin Sampson, man, he's one of the best coaches in basketball, not just college basketball.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so keep Houston away from us. Bring me Tennessee. Bring me Marquette. Those guys, not impressive to me at all. And Marquette's good. I mean, I'd rather play Tennessee than Marquette, but they're both good. But, yeah, bring them all day long. Duke, I got no problems with Duke. Arizona's better than Duke. We beat them, at Cameron.
Tough to beat a team twice in one season, though.
That's a urban myth. No such thing. And then bring me Illinois all day, every day. Man, Wisconsin, we destroyed them. This last team I'm gonna go at. We destroyed them at McHale. I'm not very impressed by Wisconsin. They just lost at Michigan.
Yeah,
Michigan's god awful. So anyway, and then if there's one team that's kind of like looming out there that I'm like, not sure I want to play those guys. I'm gonna tell you, man, it's BYU.
Brigham Young.
Interesting.
Yeah. BYU, I mean, they're right now 21 in the country, 16-5. In fact, FAU and BYU, we already played FAU. They played out of their minds, but yeah, that BYU team, like playing them in the Sweet 16, that's gonna be tougher than people think.
Yeah. I was looking at the rankings and I just now realized 9, 10, 11 is Duke, Illinois, and Wisconsin. 3 teams that Arizona fans absolutely hate outside of UCLA and ASU. Would you agree?
Yes.
Because of NCAA tournament experience. But
no, maybe more than ASU. I mean, that's really not been much of a rivalry. I mean, those teams actually broke our hearts. ASU, they've won here and there, but have they ever broken our hearts in basketball? Like when I say, remember that game ASU, like just backbreaker? You think of one?
Well, the halftime shot last year, McHale Center.
Yeah, that was
lucky.
That was lucky. I mean,
yeah,
we still have more season to play. ASU's never was like, oh, we need this game. And if there's never been major consequences. We've never played ASU in like the Pac-12 tournament championship game that I can recall. So, I mean, there was the years of James Harden and me at McHale yelling, he's left-handed. Just take away his.
He's gonna be
him,
fat one
He's
day.
gonna go left hand. I mean, they've had some good teams, but those teams. I had a fraternity brother at the Waste Management Open yesterday. He had a group of guys that they go to the Waste Management every year. They travel together. One guy's from Duke. One guy's from Wisconsin. One guy went to school at Kentucky, and one guy went to school at Alabama. And basically, my buddy Andy just dominated them at night. Drinking around the table, being like, the last game we played against any of you guys, Arizona won, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Arizona won. They're like, well, you lost to Washington State, but we beat you.
Yep.
Last time we played Kentucky
was 97.
97. Is that right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind avoiding that Kentucky team either.
Yeah.
They're just talented. They're not having the greatest year. They're not having like the quintessential Kentucky year, but maybe they are, because how many with all those 5 stars every year Calipari gets? Has he won one national championship?
Only one.
Just one, right?
Yeah.
Milks it like Doc Rivers.
And to me, like that 08 championship with the damn Celtics. No one milks a championship more than you, Doc Rivers, who, by the way, having a very bad start with the Milwaukee Bucks.
It's going to take some time. They don't have Dame Lillard playing right now.
Dame Dalla.
Dame.
I know we're, kind of getting off topic here, but we were just talking about James Harden. And I got to admit, as a Lakers fan, Ali, as you guys know here with Fletch in the background.
Yeah. I'm glad I could show you who that was.
I'm glad you introduced Fletch to me.
You know what actor plays Fletch?
Chevy Chase.
All right, buddy. Good. We're making progress.
I
love Chevy Chase. I wish he wasn't such an asshole.
I'll have a steak sandwich,
a Bloody Mary,
and a steak sandwich.
That's right. In fact, that's basically Justin's lunch order almost every single day.
A Bloody Mary, just without the booze.
Yeah.
Just
why?
Just tomato juice.
Just spicy.
But I gotta say, man, the Clippers, James Harden, I gotta give it up to him, man. They look like probably a team that's going to be contending for an NBA championship.
I know what to do.
Hate to admit it.
I know what to do to make that not happen. And I tested it this week.
What's that?
I bet on them to beat New Orleans.
Oh, and they lost?
And they lost by 11. So Clippers fans out there, just know I will be betting at least $10 on every game in the playoffs on the Clippers.
And it's cool too. Like all these, the nucleus of the team, they're all LA guys. It's all Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
These guys I'm very impressed with what the Clippers are doing. But then again, it is the Clippers. They're the Chargers of the NBA. We'll see if they can win in the playoffs. But in a 7-game series, man, my money's on the Clippers this year. They're really good.
They're really good.
But anyways, you were just mentioning how you're at Waste Management. It's not the best conditions up in Phoenix.
No, it was nasty. And except for the people in this bottle blonde section where there's like people dressed in costumes and, Natalie clad women. Was that the right term? Scantily with bubbles coming out of their boobs. Natalie. Yeah. Natalie's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also Natalie's
love Natalie
clad
Portman.
women. Yeah. But, I was there last year.
Coming out of their boobs.
Oh, they were like in a line and they were like, I don't know. They were from some, I'm sure, dance establishment in the greater Phoenix area.
Sure.
And they had some sort of contraption that like bubbles were coming out of their like bras and they were like walking around and dancing and
like the Katy Perry music video.
Yeah. And there's music playing nonstop. It's like a disco. Yes. And I'm sure there were guys yelling there, would you like to kiss a girl? Because I'd like it. I'm sure there was guys saying that, but
I want to taste your cherry chapstick.
Yeah. Let's just say, wow. You went all like, what voice is that?
Yeah, I know. I just imagine that's the voice of a guy at the Waste Management Open.
Yeah. Listen, I was there last year and I think I got my fill. I don't need to do that again. I was much happier where I was this year. But yeah, I mean, it was a nasty day. They got some golf in. It's going to be a struggle for them to get it done by Sunday. They're going to have to play a lot of holes today. Hopefully the weather holds as it's supposed to today.
They already got delayed like 2 hours due to frost and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think when I checked the Twitter account, it was because they were originally supposed to start playing, I think at 7 a.m. And now it was like, yeah, we're not doing it until 9.
Yeah. So, well, they're going to have to play till like the sun. There's like little light left because I think Saturday's supposed to rain a lot
Woof.
in Phoenix. And then, they just need to get to the cut. And then if they can maybe play 36 holes on Sunday, that'll work.
Because they could possibly cut it, because that's what they did at Pebble Beach. Due to inclement weather, they were unable to play the final round. So Wyndham Clark, after shooting a course record 60, nearly got 59, was like that short from getting a 59. They're just like, all right, we're just going to end it. Wyndham Clark, you're the champ.
Yeah, I heard a story yesterday that he was waiting around somewhere, and they called him and they're like, hey, you won. He's like, really?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, you won. We can't play anymore. And look,
best phone call ever.
You guys, it's just like, I'll take it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Give me that purse.
But you guys got to understand that, and you're totally right. That might happen this weekend at the Waste Management Open, because, man, you think about, a lot of people are like, well, why don't you just extend it to Monday? Right. And it's like, man, do you know all the logistics that go into putting on something like that? I mean, we do it with the Arizona Bowl. I'm looking around the Waste Management Open, and I'm just astounded by how much goes into putting that tournament together. And you're talking about volunteers. You're talking about the expenses of having things out there. I mean, it's logistically a nightmare to think about going an extra day for all the things that go into it. So you, my friend, might be totally right. We may see a phone call.
Hopefully it's Tagala. I want him to win.
You got money on him?
No. There's a guy named Camilo from Colombia. I'm biased, obviously. He shot. He played 4 holes yesterday. He's 2 under, and for someone that I am very fond of, I'm hoping the Colombian Camilo.
And you went to Colombia.
I did
earlier last year.
One of the greatest
summer
story moments, I think, on Overtime,
when he was talking about riding the horse, or the donkey.
We hadn't been filming then, so if you go back, go to the archives, find that Overtime. It's a beautiful time.
Riding the horse story. Yeah, man.
Just the whole, because I think you told the entire story on One Overtime, right?
I did, man. I did. I talked about how I memorized all of her family's name. There was 55. It was like a family reunion. It's like everybody, there's a talent show. And I'm like, you know what? My talent's going to be, I'm going to remember everybody's name. I'm going to get up and I'm going to say it. And they're like, oh, that's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's 55 of you and 40 of you are named Juan or Maria. So I had to memorize 15 names. Right. But, the horse thing, man, it's not just riding a horse, which is another thing entirely. But like, we were going up like the steepest mountain ever. And I'm like, this horse is going to break its leg. I'm going to fall over the side of the mountain. Is my insurance paid up? My kids, they're listed as beneficiaries correctly. And it's like, you're in charge of the horse. You take charge of the horse. And I'm like, you tell the horse. Well, I don't want to make the horse. What if I make the horse mad? And all of a sudden it just starts like neighing and, whatever, gallops away and goes really fast. Yeah, I can ride I'll ride a horse, but like, man, doing it up that mountain in Salento, man, the Juan, who's
which one?
Juan Fernando.
Oh, Juan Fernando.
Yeah,
great,
Justin,
great dude. Christina's brother-in-law, married to her sister, and
that would make sense.
Yeah. Well, could be married to her brother too, right?
I guess
so. We're in a different world. It's and it's okay.
Tell me there's 2024, baby.
Tell me there's too much love in the world, and I can tell you when we can start judging. Okay, so when that happens, you tell me. All right. But we're riding like halfway. I mean, he's just being so obnoxious. He's like, Ali, how's it going? I'm like, fine. He's like, man,
I thought you were talking about me.
He's like, yeah, well, yes, 2 things can be true. But he's like, man. You've been in Colombia for 7 days now, and this is the first time that you haven't spoken a word in more than a 5-minute span. I'm like, leave me alone. I'm focused. Focused. And you're riding the horse. I'm not a horseman, right? And you're like, my foot comes out of the stirrup and I'm like 1 foot out. I'm like, I got to put it back.
You were drifting?
My God, man, I was.
Find that Overtime. It's a beautiful, beautiful 45 minutes.
I was, to say the least, very nervioso. Muy nervioso.
Are you nervioso about your Super Bowl bet this week?
Tuve miedo. I am a little nervous about it, man. I mean, Super Bowl to me, I'm looking. You what?
I got a weird bet for the Super Bowl.
You think that that's not a Kansas City wins bet, and I'm telling you it is.
I don't see it as one. It's very much
if Patrick
props.
Mahomes throws for 2 or more touchdowns, Isaiah Pacheco runs for 70 yards or more, 67 and a half. And what was Marcus Valdez Scantling, whatever?
Yeah, over 25 yards on 2 catches.
Dude,
I don't see that.
Yeah.
Plus Brock Purdy running 13 yards, I think it was.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I mean, if Pacheco runs for 70 yards is the one that I'm like, if he can run for 70 yards, that means Patrick Mahomes is not going to have a lot of pressure on him. And if Patrick Mahomes doesn't have a lot of pressure on him, he's going to carve you up. And I was listening on Pardon My Take. Max Crosby was on with them, and they were talking about Patrick Mahomes. And remember, the Raiders beat the Chiefs, and they were smoking cigars in the locker room. And they're like, how do you defend Patrick Mahomes? And it's like, look, he's awesome. The key to Patrick Mahomes is you got to keep him in the pocket. And you cannot let him extend plays, because when he does, he makes magic happen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can that 49ers pass rush, can it be disciplined enough to, number one, put pressure on him, but at the same time, not give him an avenue where he can extend plays? And the Ravens did that in the second half. They did a vanilla defense in the first half. They rushed 4. They got no pressure on him. Mahomes was able to extend plays. Andy Reid scripted 15 awesome plays, got the ball out of his hand quick, a lot of running with Pacheco, and 17 points. I'm like, I told you guys, I'm like, I don't think Kansas City can score more than 20 points against Baltimore.
Yeah.
I didn't know Baltimore could only score 7, and they were going to make Lamar Jackson a pocket passer. To me, the key is, can this 49ers defense create pressure on Patrick Mahomes? Don't sit back. Don't be afraid of Rashid Rice. Don't be afraid of Scantling. Don't be afraid. I mean, cover Travis Kelce, yes. And I think Greenwood and Warner are going to do a good job on that, but as good as you can. But don't, I mean, they don't have the weapons that he's normally accustomed to. He's got a really good defense. So to me, put pressure on Mahomes, even if you got to manufacture a 5th guy rushing, and make him get the ball out of his hands. Cover Kelce. If Rashid Rice and Scantling beat you, shake their hands and say, good for you guys. But they've been dropping passes all year long.
Yeah.
And then on offense, man, there was a game this year the 49ers played, and I can't remember who it was, but it seemed like Christian McCaffrey got the ball, either running it or throwing it to him every single play. Whatever that game plan was, do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get Christian McCaffrey the ball whatever way you can. Throw in a lot of Deebo Samuels, the hybrid that he is, running the ball and catching the ball. A couple passes to Ayuk, but do what you guys do well. And I know he was named Offensive Player of the Year. By the way, how are you named Offensive Player of the Year and then somebody else gets the MVP? If you're the Offensive Player of the Year and the other guy's on offense, how are you not the MVP? How does that work?
Because maybe he's not as valuable as, let's say, Lamar Jackson is for the Baltimore Ravens.
I mean, is it like everybody gets a trophy time? Is that what we're doing in the NFL?
I think it just is, furthering the point that it's all made up.
Well, and also MVP it's a quarterback award.
Most
Why does it
valuable
have to be?
player. It's not MVQ, right? Look, Lamar Jackson had a great season. I had no problem with him winning MVP. But in my mind, Christian McCaffrey was the MVP of the NFL, and you need to utilize his talents to the greatest extent possible. Get him the ball in space. Most of my bets not associated with the game is going to be on Christian McCaffrey. I'm going to bet on Kyle Shanahan not being a fucking Nimrod and deciding to zag. And you know what we're going to do? They think Christian McCaffrey's getting the ball. Huh. We're going to have Brock Purdy throw to Jennings 30 times.
Yeah.
I'm going to bet on that. So for me, I think the 49ers cover. I think they win by 10 points. And I have already put a, sizable is all about perspective, but I put a good size bet on Christian McCaffrey to win the MVP.
That means it's a staggering amount of money for
Yes.
someone like you or I, Justin.
Yes.
That's not staggering. It's like, how much do you spend at QT every morning?
This drink was $2.
But you don't normally get more than that there, don't you?
Not anymore. But yeah, usually sometimes I'd spend like $6.
Yeah. So first of all, good on you.
Yeah.
Stop doing that. Be fiscally responsible.
Yes.
I mean, I talk to more and more people that they have like financial, like they're financially irresponsible. And they're always talking about, like, money woes and whatnot. But they leased a car that's way more than they needed. They buy a coffee
from Starbucks. That's $8 every single
wherever
morning.
every morning.
Yeah.
And they go out to lunch 4 or 5 days a week. So, Andrew, don't do that.
I'll do my best.
Yeah. Don't do that. But I think the 49ers to me are a better overall team. I think the biggest thing that Kyle Shanahan can do to help ensure a 49er victory is don't put the entire weight of the game on Brock Purdy's shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm just worried because all season, you have said the NFL doesn't make sense. And it seems like both ways make sense this time.
I know, but I know. I don't make sense either, but I'm hoping that, everybody, the 49ers are favored, but I think more of the money is on the Chiefs. So for
Not to
me,
mention their dogs.
and everybody, what have we heard for 2 weeks since the AFC Championship game?
Taylor Swift.
No.
Yes, that is true, though.
I haven't heard it. I mean, I guess I'm not listening to people that talk about nonsense. Patrick Mahomes. You don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes. And I'm like, at some point, Patrick Mahomes is going to lose. And
that's what we all said about Tom Brady, though.
Yeah.
But he did. They went to 9 Super Bowls. They lost 3.
Yes.
He won 6.
That's not a great percentage, though.
Yeah.
I know.
6 out of 9.
I know. I just feel like
hey, those 3 times, though.
Yeah.
I know
put money on those 3 times.
I know the 49ers are favored. I just feel like everybody's betting on the Chiefs. And it's all Patrick Mahomes. And he's awesome. And I know the game is not played on paper. And this is not fantasy football. But 49ers are a better football team.
Yeah.
They just are. And they've played better, more consistently throughout the year. So I'm going to just use logic. And my data, my analysis leads me to believe that the San Francisco 49ers are going to win their organization's 6th Super Bowl.
You almost couldn't get it out of your mouth.
So
karma wouldn't let him do it.
I know.
The last non-quarterback to win MVP in the NFL.
Cooper Kupp?
No, it was actually Adrian Peterson in 2012.
MVP, sorry.
MVP, not offensive. Super Bowl MVP.
Not Super Bowl,
yeah, sorry. Just regular, normal MVP, Adrian Peterson in 2012. Other than that, or since then, it has been quarterbacks. You got Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson.
You guys want an
Some
Adrian
of those guys
Peterson
multiple
story?
times.
Do you know what he's most known for off the football field?
The switch?
No.
Oh.
I'm just going to stop you there.
Okay.
So Adrian Peterson, if you shake his hand, tries to break your hand. Like he's got a vice grip. My brother
understood people like
my
that.
brother Amir was at something with Danny Cannell, and he did not know that. And Danny Cannell thought it would be funny to introduce my brother to Adrian Peterson and have him shake his hand. My brother's like, I thought he broke my hand. Like your father teaches you, shake a man's hand, shake it firmly, look him right in the eye.
Firm handshake.
Adrian Peterson's dad was, maybe this goes to the reason for the switch thing. When you shake a man's hand, you need to give him a grip that he feels like he's going to break his hand. So a lot of people
you want to immobilize him.
Yeah. A lot of people to Adrian Peterson, when they see him, it's all fist bump, baby.
He doesn't punch the shit out of your fist.
Yeah. No.
I know guys.
Well,
like
fist
that.
bump. Or just, hey, how's it going, man? How's it going? What's up?
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson is famous for, if you shake his hand, you will feel like you broke your hand.
Jesus Christ.
I will say this, though, guys. The Chiefs defense, I know we're talking about the Chiefs offense and that side of the ball, and what the 49ers need to do to limit those guys. The Chiefs defense have been playing lights out in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
To their credit, I think they did a great job game planning against Baltimore, even though the Ravens went against everything that they're good at.
Baltimore did a great job game planning against Baltimore.
I guess so. Yeah, only giving it to the running back 6 times in that AFC Championship game. But the Chiefs defense made all the right plays in that game. And I think that in the biggest moment right now, Dean Spagnuolo, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is one of the best coordinators in the game right now. And I think that the Chiefs defense will have a perfect game plan against the San Francisco 49ers. Limiting Christian McCaffrey is huge in this game. But with that being said, I always think about the magic of Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, and I just have a hard time picking against this team. And I mean, I also think about history too. The San Francisco 49ers with Kyle Shanahan, we've seen them go against their game plan and what they're good at. When he was the offensive coordinator with the Atlanta Falcons, they were up 28-3 in that Super Bowl, had really good running backs. And what did they do? They went against it. I would think that Kyle Shanahan would learn from his mistakes, but
You think?
I don't think so, man.
I mean, but you talk about the game plan Kansas City had, and they did, and their defense is good. But, Zay Flowers doesn't fumble at the half-yard line. Lamar Jackson doesn't throw into quadruple coverage. As bad as Baltimore played, and as much as they had maybe the worst offensive game plan in the history of football, outside of the, I don't know, the 80s Chargers deciding to run the wishbone. Dan Fouts right there to Chuck Muncie, and then he's going to either give it or read it and then pitch it over to John Capoletta. Anyway, I just named a bunch of Chargers, kind of, but not really.
Just like Mickey Rooney.
Yeah, I know.
Just like Mickey Rooney.
Man, they had J.J. Jefferson from ASU. He was one of the most acrobatic best receivers I've ever seen in any era. They had Wes Chandler that they traded from the Saints, or they got back from the Saints, and they had a guy named Charlie Joyner.
Charlie Joyner
was he was awesome. Anyway, that San Diego team, they were Don Coryell San Diego team. The fact that they didn't win a Super Bowl in the 80s is still unbelievable to me. I don't know.
The fact that Marty Schottenheimer went 14-2 and could win a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
with the Chargers,
with LaDainian Tomlinson and Phillip Rivers.
Thanks, Tom Brady.
Yeah, yeah. We all have our Tom Brady moments.
Yeah,
but to me, as woeful as that offensive game plan was for Baltimore, if Baltimore didn't have self-inflicted wounds in turning the ball over, I think they win that game. I really do. And did you see? There's a video out there of Zay Flowers, who's a little bit of hot water, allegedly. We're not going to get into it, but he's carrying the ball and then he fumbles, and instead of the ball, it's the Super Bowl trophy.
Oh, it's the Lombardi trophy.
Trophy rolling away. Oh, whoever did that, man, that's nasty. That is nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how bad Baltimore played. Think about the turnovers. Think about the game planning. And if Zay Flowers doesn't try to reach for the end zone and Gus Edwards puts it in next play, and they kick a field goal instead of throwing that interception, it's 17-all and it's going to overtime. And I don't get why you don't run. I mean, we're not going to talk about it anymore, but how Lamar Jackson, you didn't get him on the move more in that game. It was almost like the criticism of Lamar Jackson is he won the MVP. He's the first quarterback MVP to win it who is outside the top 10 in passing yards and outside the top 10 in passing touchdowns. Now think about that.
Yeah.
So what is he really good at? Running the ball, right? And it's almost like this obstinance of we're going to prove to the world that Lamar Jackson is a traditional pocket quarterback.
Yeah.
It was just really
something
dumb.
he's always been.
I just think, honestly, if the Chiefs want to win, of course, I mean, Travis Kelce, one of the greatest postseason performers in NFL history.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, look at his stats, just past Jerry Rice for most receptions, right?
That's incredible.
In postseason history in the NFL. So I expect Travis Kelce to be at his best. It could be his last game. There's a lot of speculation out there that the Kelce brothers are going to ride off into the sunset together. I think for sure Jason Kelce will retire. And Travis Kelce, I mean, with all the endorsement money that he's made, all the commercials that he's in, and plus you got a billionaire potential wife. I mean, Travis Kelce could honestly win a Super Bowl right off in the sunset, live off his pension, all the money that he's earned as an NFL player, and also have a very successful wife who's one of the most prominent figures in the world right now. Travis Kelce's living the good life right now. And I think, with the grind that it takes for every NFL player to get through a season, and he's been doing it for a while now. I think maybe Travis Kelce could just decide to call it quits. And, 3 Super Bowls, pretty damn impressive career, and statistically, arguably the greatest tight end of all time. So it would not surprise me if Travis Kelce does retire.
He loves it though, man. He loves it. And once you give it up, it's gone, right? This is the thing that you've loved and done for most of your life.
But he's got a very good podcast. Him and his brother are very successful at doing it.
But you can't replace what is the number one thing guys that retire from team sports? What's the first thing they say they miss?
The brotherhood, the camaraderie.
Exactly, man. That's
the people.
That's irreplaceable. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. But
I think if anybody outside of Travis Kelce, if the Chiefs are going to win this game,
they're not. Besides
Isaiah Pacheco having a great game, and I love the way he runs the ball. He runs very aggressive.
Yeah.
Someone said on Twitter that Isaiah Pacheco runs like he's on the Flintstones.
Yeah.
He's on Scooby-Doo, the way he runs, the way his feet move. But outside of Pacheco and Travis Kelce, Valdez-Scantling, Rashee Rice, Kadarius Toney, do we even know what his status is for the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Is he not playing?
He's riding Oak.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're like, just stay at home, boss.
Yeah.
We need to win this game, and we need you to not be available. But these guys have to step up, and they have to make they have to make the catches, because we saw when the Chiefs lost to Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl a few years ago, the Buccaneers applied all sorts of pressure on Patrick Mahomes. And you mentioned earlier how he was still able to get out of the pocket and figure out the Mahomes magic. Patrick Mahomes was magical in that game. His pass catchers were not. You could go back to that Tampa Bay game and look at all the throws that Patrick Mahomes was making. He was literally parallel to the ground. Like his face was going towards the ground, and he somehow launched the ball out, and then it went in the back.
Hit the guy in the hands,
right
and
in
he
the
dropped
end
it.
zone, and he dropped it. So these guys are going to have to make those catches that are going to win the game for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not confident in it, but never count it out. It's the big game. Players can step up in weird moments.
Big game, and the fire alarm went off in the 49ers hotel
I heard about
yesterday.
A lot of weird things happening in Vegas.
They're asking George Kittle about it, and he's like, "Yeah, who was the grumpiest?" And he's like, "Oh, Nick Bosa and Christian McCaffrey." And they asked Christian McCaffrey, and they're like, "No, it was calculated." And you know what? Just stokes the fire. So he's like blaming the Kansas City Chiefs for pulling the fire alarm.
Whatever. But be careful what you wish for, because you know what? I always think about the Miami, like something like that. The Miami Hurricanes, the day they played, or the night before they played against, I think it was Nebraska. Where was Brian Bosworth? Where did he play at?
Oklahoma.
And it was before Miami played against Oklahoma, and they got the room number that Brian Bosworth was staying in. So they were calling his phone all night, just trolling him hard. He didn't get much sleep, and the Miami ended up winning the game. So
it worked.
So it did work. It did work.
It worked.
A lot of weird things happening in Vegas. Someone climbed the Sphere in Las Vegas to protest.
What? Couldn't figure out how to get down.
How the fuck do you what?
And honestly, like I was watching the video of him like making the climb, and right where it kind of curved a little bit, you could see all the different graphics that were going on. I'm like, dude, I would like look down and see a graphic move, and I would get like vertigo or like kind of lose my balance and just like fall off. And
yeah, buddy. I mean, me and you,
yes,
we wouldn't have made it that far.
No.
And first of all, we wouldn't have made it that far physically. No, but like we're also not fucking morons.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, you know what you should do? We should climb the Sphere.
Yeah.
There is no level of drunk that gets me to say yes.
I would have been looking for a foothold, and I'd have been like, well, maybe. You know what? Fuck it.
Dude, I've been there. That's like, you look at that thing. I mean, no.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And
oh yeah, you saw U2 there.
I did see U2 there.
That's
awesome
crazy.
show, man. And the Sphere is awesome. It's if you guys get to Vegas, at least do the tour. Or the Sphere, like they have like a little show.
Yeah,
it's well worth it. Incredible. And it's been kind of cool watching all the graphics about like the team helmets, and then they did all the Super Bowl rings.
I saw that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
The Chargers were not on it.
No, No, it was cool watching the Steelers 6 times, all the 6 rings. So I wore a Steelers jacket to the Waste Management Open, man. Man, there's something, I told you guys I was by that sweatshirt, Just Hate Us.
Mm-hmm.
I got so many like, go Steelers, go Steelers. And I'm like, cool. And then one guy's like, there's something on your jacket. And I'm like, what, I spill something? He's like, oh no, that's a Steelers emblem. And then he just like wanted to talk about anything against the Steelers. And I'm like, man, who do you root for? He's like, the Browns.
Of course.
And I'm like, seriously, dude, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
He's like, I know. And then I'm like, hey, I heard there was like a really like one of the best fans of the Browns just passed away. He's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. His name was like, I think like Ed Cranston or something like that. I don't quite recall the name, but his obituary, he said, I love the Browns so much. I would like 6 Cleveland Browns to be my pallbearers. And he's like, really? That's really cool. Did they do it? I'm like, they did. Because his last wish was for the Browns to let him down just one more time.
That's what I say about when I die, I want every person I ever did a group project with to be a pallbearer.
Why?
So they can let me down one more time.
They never
Always
got a good group project teamt?
No, especially in college, because it was all like, all right, yeah, I guess I'll work with this person, work with that. It was like a motley crew of people, but there was always that one Chad, Brad type of guy.
I was gonna say Brad.
Kyle.
Damn it, Kyle.
Yeah. Braxton.
Braxton, Bryce, a dude named Skyler.
And they're always like, hey man, what's up, bro?
Yeah,
how we doing on that? Hey dude, thank you. Hey bro. I always use bro.
Yeah.
Right? In my fraternity, like when somebody wants something from you, it always started with, hey bro.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't have $5.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they never showed up whenever we would present.
And they just got whatever grades you got.
And then they would they would write our coattails, be Kendrick Perkins on the 2016 Cavaliers team, where he just rode the bench and didn't do anything, and we get all the credit for it.
Well, you said rode our coattails, which makes me believe that there was at least somebody else helping you.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. It wasn't like I was dealing with a bunch of shitty people. There was always 1 or 2 people that helped me out.
When Justin passes away, there's going to be like 6 people who are like, who the fuck is Justin Spears?
I think
Brad, Chad, Kyle.
I think on his tombstone it's going to say, y'all motherfuckers didn't help me ever. It was all me, Justin Spears.
No, Andrew knows what's going to be on my tombstone.
Caniac combo, extra sauce, butter on both sides, no slaw, extra toast.
Bob. Butter on both sides. No,
is that what? Did you get it?
No, it's
not out of the question though.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. What did you say again? It was a Caniac combo, butter on both sides.
Yeah, no slaw, extra toast, butter on both sides, probably an extra sauce.
Holy cow!
And a sweet tea.
Dude, he got my Raising Cane's order down to a tea. I love it.
I mean, he listens.
What a guy.
You talk about
I'm the only one here every fucking day.
What a guy. No, I was going to say, what's going to be on my tombstone is they can't say shit.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's my excuse. Like whenever, like when I had a tooth extracted last year, 2 years ago, whatever it was, and I came in like literally 3 hours after the operation.
Yeah, he's still bleeding from the mouth.
And I did a 3-hour radio show.
Came in with like a hockey puck of gauze. And between every segment, he'd be like,
and I told him, I'm like, Andrew, they can never question my commitment.
Yeah.
They can never question my work ethic.
Yeah. Stemming from his innate and ever present fear that at any moment, someone's going to walk through that door and fire him.
Yeah. I just pulled a Justin the other day.
They can't say shit.
I just did. Yeah. I mean, I'm not afraid I'm going to get fired or anything like that. I mean,
you're your own boss, man.
You're ridiculous, but
you're ridiculous.
But I'm in the Conquistadors, and they're like part of the setup starts on the Saturday before the tournament, which happens to be March 2nd, which happens to be my birthday. We're supposed to be there at 5 a.m. So I text one of my buddies. I'm like, hey, bro.
It all comes around.
Hey, bro, am I really gonna have to be there at 5 a.m. on my birthday? And he texted me back. He's like, no, man, you can be late. Don't worry about it. Also, Oregon plays Arizona that day, like 2:00. And I'm like, I'm going to the Oregon game. So I'm like, you know what? They can't say shit. I'm like, no, I'll be there at 5 a.m. He's like, no, seriously, you don't have to be there early. We work something out. I'm like, nah, I'll see you at 5 a.m. Can't say shit.
What a guy. Can't say shit. They can't
Yeah.
fire me. Can't let me go.
Yeah. Well, I don't want, it's like, well, Ali, does he think he's better than everybody else? He gets special treatment. Oh, it's his birthday. We all have to be here. It's 5 a.m. No, I'm not going to let that happen. I'll be there at 5 a.m. I'm leaving at 10 because I'm going to the Oregon game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be there at 5 a.m. on March 2nd at La Paloma Country Club in my U of A gear, all ready to work. What do you guys need? I didn't even know what I was in charge of until yesterday. I'm like, hey, by the way, what am I doing? Christina's like, what is your job this year? I'm like, you know what? I don't fucking know. I think somebody mentioned it. I am in charge of making sure that we have a, what is it called? The Patriot hospitality tent, where all the active and retired military, we basically put a tent on for them, and we feed them and
That's awesome.
take care of them, and they get tickets to the event. So my job is to make sure that it's beautified. We got the drinks, the food, everything is there, and hospitality. And I'm like, buddy, I can do hospitality.
Oh, yeah.
Me
Be our guest.
me with a bunch of military guys, man. A lot of older military guys.
Yeah.
They haven't heard all my dad jokes yet.
Nope.
Mhm.
Oh, baby. You know what I see? I see opportunity.
Oh, man.
I want to finish up, man, with the story that we talked about off the air today, with the radio tower, 250-foot radio tower that got stolen in Alabama.
Yeah.
Can you
Apparently, yeah.
talk
I think it
about that a
was
little bit?
WJLX or something like that in Alabama. I don't know what city. Had a 200-foot radio tower disappear like in the middle of the night, stolen. Which I don't know if you know much about radio towers, but yeah, usually they're lit up because like a lot of times they're on like mountaintops. I know Alabama doesn't really have mountains, but
They got hills.
yeah, but they're usually like lit up to like, be like, hey, don't fucking fly here.
Don't fly into
You're gonna
this.
hit a radio tower.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's gone.
So they went to go clean it, and then it wasn't there.
It just wasn't there.
What would be funny is if you like somebody went on eBay is like, do you need a 200-foot radio tower?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sale, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
We got 800
Facebook
feet
market.
of steel beams, just a cut up truss.
Would it be like just emblematic of all the maybe some negative stereotypes of the South if that was the station of Alabama football and a bunch of Auburn fans stole the radio tower to put it up somewhere else.
Totally.
And then they think when everybody's going to be listening to Alabama football, they're going to try to put in Auburn football.
Mhm.
War Eagle.
But that's not the way the radio tower works, right? I mean,
they think all they have to do is spray paint it orange and blue.
and they're just like, this will show them.
Yeah.
We'll broadcast over. If we move the tower, then we'll be able to broadcast over the tower, and they will listen, and we'll talk about how much Alabama sucks. I'm like, dude, that's not the signal's still coming from the station, man.
But also, how do you hide that? Like, how do you steal it and then hide it? I'm just trying to figure out this whole operation, man.
I think you're cutting it down for, it's like,
They just hit it nearby like one of those cell towers that's made to look like a tree.
Yeah.
Those fucking things are so stupid.
You can't.
What's up, fellow trees?
Yeah. What do you got? Like let's tilt it over. Let's get 150 of our good friends and we'll walk it out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Light as what is it? The thing light as a feather when you do it with a person, everybody puts two fingers
you
on.
put two fingers and you hold somebody up. I don't know what that's called, but yeah. Trust exercise.
Something is something, light as a feather, blah, 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 something like that. So there's some like saying that goes with it.
Oh. There's a spell you have to cast.
Yeah, I don't know. I stay away from stuff like that. And Ouija boards.
Yeah.
Don't mess around with Ouija boards. I don't want any of that. And the whole, remember when we're growing up, like the turn off the light and say Bloody Mary 3 times and she'll appear in the mirror. Yeah. I maybe got to 1.5 and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I'm out.
So what if it's real?
What if it is? I don't know. I don't think it is. But I don't want to be. If it is, if there is a 0.00000.1 chance,
Yeah,
that Bloody Mary is going to appear, Man, I get scared. I got scared when I watched Paranormal Activity. I got scared by Friday the 13th commercials. I don't want to see Bloody Mary.
Oh, Sean Connery's also in The First Night too.
Yeah, good man.
Prima Nocta?
Prima Nocta. I'm glad you could look that up. Sean Connery, one of the greatest actors of the 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I do find it a little poetic that
a little bit of a male chauvinist too. And when I say a little bit, a lot of a male chauvinist, but a great actor,
50 no's and a yes means yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, dude, there's a cringy interview with him talking about.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
What's the best way to have a relationship with somebody of the opposite sex? And I don't.
Anal.
No.
No. Sean Connery and Alex Trebek, not the characters in SNL, but the actual Trebek and Connery, they died in the same week.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like a couple days from each other. And I'm like, I know it's an SNL skit. They probably have never met each other, but I just found it like really interesting that the actual Sean Connery and Alex Trebek, they're up in heaven right now. And he's like, ha ha, Trebek, we meet again.
I don't think so. I think he's like, oh, what do you fucking know, man? Huh? That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. At least we're in the same place.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good place or bad place, but we're in the same place. The weirdest one is when John Adams passed away, and he says, at least Jefferson lives, and Thomas Jefferson had just died.
Oh man,
yeah, they died on the same day.
Damn. On that note,
yeah, that's a bummer, man.
Yeah.
Should have ended with my my opportunity to tell dad jokes to the vets in the military outpost.
Well, what is your favorite dad joke?
Man, I've got so many favorite dad jokes. I don't know. I've also got some very favorite jokes that I've told you guys that are not for publication, but man, I don't know. What is your favorite dad joke that I've told? Do you guys remember any?
That's tough too. I don't know.
Can you think of one, or are we just all escaping us? Let's just be honest.
I mean, they're all probably on the promos.
Yeah, that's true.
that I play between the podcast segments.
What would bears be without bees? Ears. There's no bee. Get it?
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah.
Stealing that did one. He just look up a bunch of dad jokes?
I did.
He did.
But
if
honestly,
didn't have that laptop, this show would go nowhere.
Shout out to my brother, by the way. His go-to dad joke is he farted in his wallet and now he has gas money. Which is corny, but it's honest. It's pretty damn funny if you ask me.
It's only corny if you push too hard. Thank you.
Yeah.
What would a bears be without bees? Ears. I like that one.
Yeah.
I'll steal that one for sure. Actually, yeah. I'm taking my significant other's daughter and my daughter for a mani-pedi tomorrow. And that joke will make its way into the conversation.
You're getting a pedicure too?
If they've got time. I just want to make sure they both get one. But I don't know if they've got enough time in the appointment. So we'll see. Excited to go to Dante's tonight.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Ken Foy.
Ken Foy, secret grilled cheese menu. And I can't believe, as much as my kids love grilled cheese, like literally I'm like, I'm a bad father. It's the first time I've taken them there for the grilled cheeses.
Wow.
My kids love grilled cheeses.
Wait, they've been there before though?
No.
Yeah, never.
No.
Get a little escargot.
Yeah.
Be careful with the fake noodles there. They call that impasta. Yes, sir.
Man, we got to change your wardrobe. You are a man who should be wearing a sweater vest every day of his life. You are. You need to.
So cardigans.
It's just you need to be. That's your next
cashmere sweaters,
evolution.
Loafers.
You've already got the personality and the attitude. Now you just need to dress like it.
He also needs a crossbody leather bag.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not a purse. He's already got that. Actually, it's not a purse. It's a bag.
It's a satchel.
Yeah.
Looks like
Indiana Jones had one.
It's a satchel.
Looks a lot like a purse to me, buddy. I
Yeah.
mean, it's got a strap and a carrying case, and you put it around your shoulder.
Mhm.
I think that's called a purse.
Yep.
On that note,
Just because it says Versace on it doesn't make it any better.
yes, it does.
It actually makes it probably worse.
All right, that'll do
Oh,
it.
by the way, you should have
What?
last year because they had the bag policy at the Waste Management Open. I
Mhm.
wasn't there. Christina was. And dude, they were making people, they were turning them away because their purses were like half an inch too big. And these are like $2,000-$3,000 purses. And they're like, you can either throw it away or you got to go back and put it in your car. And let me tell you, man, there's no like, just I'm going to step out to the parking lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
some
a
of them,
hike.
like there's ride shares, there's shuttles. And even if you park, like we park at the Princessa and we pay $90 for parking because we can just walk
Jesus
right there.
fuck. Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot easier than like, I don't want to take a shuttle.
Ain't no amount of walking to me worth $90. Holy shit.
But like, even that is like a walk to
Damn.
get to the course and where you need to go. It's like, basically it's like, you either need to throw away your $2,000 to $3,000 to whatever $1,000 purse.
Yeah.
Or you need to go and maybe come back in 3 hours.
Jesus Christ.
The women, and this is Scottsdale, so you can imagine
Oh, well, they can get another one on the way home.
there was not happy. There was not a happy time at all. I find it hilarious.
That security officer woke up that morning and chose violence. I was like, you know what?
And honestly, I'm happy that you tell me that, because now I'm gonna go to that setup station and I'm just gonna sit there and wait and be like, hey, did anybody throw away a bag? Can I have it?
Actually, it might be a good side hustle. It's like, I'll
Yeah.
give you $100 for that bag.
Yeah.
But you got to know your purses, and I know you do. So you'd be great at it.
Where do boats go when they're sick? The boat dock. And that is the final dad joke of today's Spears and Ali Overtime episode. Go check out Spears and Ali Overtime on YouTube. Check us out here. You can see our beautiful faces. We're going to do this more often. I'm very happy that we're doing the YouTube show.
How many times Justin's going to do this to his kids? Oh, look at my thumb. Look at the thumb.
Very often.
Got your nose. Got your nose. Man, I saw one of my buddies do that to his kid. That kid had a meltdown.
Ah!
Daddy took my nose. I have no nose. He's like, no, I'm just kidding. It's right there, buddy. It's right there.
Also, check us out on Apple and Spotify. And per usual, Spears and Ali presented by Tucson Federal Credit Union, the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans,
Boom.
and Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Yeah.
See you guys next time.
Let's do this. Yeah.